time to shift gears. This is the Manshift Guide.
Welcome back to the Manshift Guide. Today I'm sitting down with Shawn Lewis, an independent comic creator and co-creator of Immortalis. It's a series that blends myth, morality, and modern storytelling. Excuse me. I originally met Shawn at a convention a few years ago, and I bought a copy of his book, which I have right here. For those of you
Oh,
who have
nice.
this, you guys who are watching the video broadcast on YouTube, which you signed. There are other more of than just this right now. What
Oh,
you
yeah.
sent me earlier, you told me that you currently have 16 issues out. You have completed your artist has completed 20, and you're currently writing issue 28. You've converted a script for a screen with screenwriter Hank Bird. Um, as We Lay and Boneyard is something that he has done. And you just finished a successful Kickstarter to a spin-off series called The Heartless Bastards. Is that right?
Yep. That is
Yeah,
all correct. Yep, yep.
awesome.
The converting the screenplay to the graphic novel for a screenplay Hank did called Dead Planet. I'm still working on it. I'm about halfway there. So 75 of the 150-ish pages. So still working on that one. So
That's
I
so
got about
cool.
another 2 months of writing the first draft. So
All right. Well, that's awesome. That's awesome.
thank you.
So if you're new to this podcast, the Man Shift Guide, we talk a lot about purpose. So let's ask, like, what is the deeper reason behind creating this? Now, I know that you are not the sole creator, you are the co-creator, but
Correct.
you're the writer of it. Um,
Yes.
so let's get into like the nitty-gritty of it. Like, what was the inspiration for starting this?
So I was always a comic book fan growing up. Grew up in southeastern Ohio. Me and my friends, comic book release day, we'd all go to there was a little pharmacy in our town called Fruth Pharmacy. We'd always go there after school, spend like 3, 4 hours just reading all the new comics that came out, just standing in the aisle reading the comics, just, read about 20 comics to choose one to buy. Poor kids, we couldn't afford 20 comics at a time. So just fell in love with comics like that, especially Frank Miller's Daredevil run back in the day. Loved Captain America. I wasn't a big DC fan back in the day, but always been a comic book fan growing up. Kept collecting for up until about my 30s, always loved it. Started writing some stuff back then. Did two comics that got picked up by a company called Dakawaka. It was an independent comic company. The first one, it didn't lose any money, but it didn't make any money, but it didn't lose any money either. So Mike Penny was like, "Hey, if you got anything else, just shoot it to me." So I had a screenplay called Purity. I told him I could convert it to a comic book and get it to him. So I did that over about 4 months, got it to him, released it. It got picked up by a Hollywood company called Kickstart Entertainment.
Hmm.
They had done Wanted, that Angelina Jolie, Morgan Freeman movie. They did some Voltron stuff. They're the ones who did The Boys for Garth Ennis. So they picked that up. Shortly after that, probably about 2 years after that, we they took it wide, table reads, all that kind of stuff. But about 2 years after they picked it up, Mike Penny, the founder of Dakawaka, died. So it was kind of tough for me. So I just kind of stepped away from comic writing. I just like, man, this is too much. I don't want to search for another publisher. I just don't want to do it. Mike was a great guy. He had multiple sclerosis, and yeah, he just passed away. He was young too, younger than me at the time, but he did more with less than I ever could. You know what I mean? So it was just a tough thing for me. So I just walked away from it. I stayed in contact with the one who repped us there at Kickstart Entertainment was Samantha Olsenshear. Great lady, super awesome. She's got her own production company now called what's it called? Midnight Hags. So yeah, so I guess it's from a Shakespeare play the name came from, but um yeah, I just told her I was like, I'm not going to write anything else. Just let me know if anything develops with this and all that. She had my email and all that. So kind of walked away from it, just kind of lost the spirit. I wrote down some various things, ideas, outlined some stuff, but I never could get back into the writing group. Well, my boss, few years later, I started with a satellite company. My boss at the time was also a big comic book fan, Ryan Mosley, and we'd always talked about we're going to do something together. We're going to do something together. We never did. I transferred with the company out here to Colorado. That was in Arkansas. He calls me up one night after about 8 months after I'd left Arkansas, and he's like, "Hey, dude, I got this great idea. Can I run it by you?" So he runs it by me, probably like a 30-minute conversation, and he thought I hated the idea because I didn't really say anything. But I'm the kind of guy who, like, if you give me an idea or you pitch me something, I need to think about it. I want to run it through my head, 500 times before I really start to think about the whole development of it. I want to think of the whole 150 pages of it, what's going to come of it, where do we go, what's the big three arc picture of it. So over about a week, I wrote the first 8 pages, sent them to him. I was like, here's where I think this is going. Here's what I think we can do with it. This is what I think of it. He loved the first 8 pages. So then we started writing Immortalis. We took about probably 18 months just storyboarding, laying it out, doing the outlines, all that kind of stuff, character arcs, all that kind of thing. And after 18 months, we started looking for artists. Found some great artists in this first early issues. Ramad Wisnu, who's now our everyday artist for the regular issues. Ben Perkins, Miguel Galindo, Juan Salcido. We found some really good artists. Started releasing issues. Just started doing Kickstarters for our first 6 issues. Got them all successfully funded out there. And then we signed with a UK publishing house, Marcosia, which was awesome. Harry Marcos there. He's an awesome guy. He owns the business. He's the head man there. He lets us do what we want, which is that's about all you can ask for from a publisher. He's like,
Yeah,
do what you want, release when you want. You can still do Kickstarters if you want, all that thing. So it's awesome. I mean, it's a win-win. And he got us into Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Walmart, Books a Million, Waterstones and Fry's, which I think is maybe just a UK distributors, big box stores out there. But yeah, he got us into like a dozen big box stores,
wow,
which is awesome for us because we had no idea how to get in there, how to get Amazon, get our codes on the back so we could get into those big stores. He handles all that for us, which is phenomenal because I mean, we had our hands full just figuring out how to sign the artists, sign the colors, get the inkers, get the letterers, cover artists. All that stuff is just it's a slog, man. It can be. And yeah, so we started publishing through him and it's been great. We just released issue 16 in November. Issue 17 will be out next. Like the artist is done with it. Colorist is done with that one. It's in the letter's hands now. So we're just going to keep on rolling. So
that's awesome. Um, so you've described like a really tedious thing here, and you've described like a lot of stuff, honestly, that I feel like the same with the podcast, right? Like I could do what I can do, but I can't do what I can't do. And it's just like trying to like talk to the people and try to promote the thing and trying to do all this stuff and
yeah.
like wearing all of these hats. So
Yes.
I want to get down to like motivation versus discipline, right? So like you have
Yeah.
motivation, but at some point the motivation dies, right?
Yes.
Like when did like the discipline and how did the discipline kick in? And I guess a side question is like how did you know like this is gonna be something to the point where like we got to do this. We got to follow through with this because you
Right.
felt like this is something special. It's not just like, oh, I'm gonna write this and then some people will give up when like, oh, it's not doing well, so I'm just gonna move on to something else.
Oh yeah, no, that's 100% right. The discipline has to kick in early, especially with if so before we signed with Harry, we started pitching to the bigger publishing houses. The Image, the Dark Horse, Boom, all those IDW, all the bigger kind of the bigger studios. And at the time I didn't realize, but we actually got because reading online like Reddit and stuff, comic book collabs, all that stuff, you hear people, oh yeah, we pitched to him and never heard back from him.
Mm.
And nobody, I mean, nobody on these, well, Image is one of the big three, but the rest of them, nobody will pick up a ongoing series now.
Mm.
They want a, at most probably a 10, maybe a 12 issue series that wraps up because taking a chance on a 6 year series, it's just so hard because an artist could drop out. An artist, making deadlines is so tough. Like you said, you got to be so disciplined. You got to stay so ahead of the curve. You got to line out exactly right with your artist to get done on time, your inker to get done on time, then your colorist to get done on time, and then your letter to get done on time. So you got to find reliable people who see all these jobs not as a hobby, but as a job.
Mm.
So you got to find people who are willing to be as disciplined as you. And we did that. We were lucky with that. But the publishers had probably been burned so many times. They're like, we can't trust anybody that we don't know to do a 6 year series.
Mhm.
I think the last big series other than well, even The Walking Dead, Robert Kirkman, he's one of the owners of Image. You know what I mean? So, other than the owners, I don't know that they're doing a long series right now. They
Yeah,
may be, but I don't, I wouldn't know which one it is. But
yeah.
so yeah,
You see a lot
but
of a lot of the newer comic book stories. Like they literally only come out with like a 12 and they're done. Like
oh yeah,
they're kind of like writing the stuff. I think they're really looking for just like they want to have like a book, which is a little
yeah,
bit bigger than the single issues, and then just be done and then move on to the next thing. So
yeah,
yeah, I see that. I see that a lot.
oh yeah. So it was an uphill battle for us with that part of it, but me and Ryan realized what we were trying to do. We knew it was going to be an uphill battle. So that was part of that 18-month thing. We had to decide, do we have the discipline to do this? And we decided we did. We wanted to tell this story. Um, we knew we had the discipline. We knew we could do it. It just is trying to figure out how to do it. We signed up for Tyler James has a course you can sign up for called Comics Tribe. Phenomenal course, phenomenal guy. It's about kickstarting comics, crowdfunding comics, basically. Great step-by-step stuff, wonderful stuff. But he even warned you in the first one, your first couple of Kickstarters, get your friends and family involved because you're probably going to need them. Nobody knows you. You don't have a track record. You don't have successful crowdfunding campaigns. Outside people are most likely not going to take a chance with you. So you're going to have to rely on your friends and family for that. And that's what we did. And that pushed us through on the first couple of ones to get those funded, just relying on friends and family. And that's tough too, because you're like, man, does nobody like this? But we slowly start to see it build. And what really helped us was when we got into Comic Cons too. Um, this will be starting next year. We'll be at Albuquerque Comic Con in January.
Mhm.
That'll be our third year doing that. Is it fourth? Might actually be our fourth year. But every year, the people who bought the year before come back. Hey, glad to see you back, man. What do you got now? What's your next series? Can I get the rest of these? Yeah. So they love it. They want to keep buying it. So that keeps us going. That's the motivation we find in that. So yeah, but it's a slow burn. It's such a slow burn, man. There's so much out there. Everything is so tied to social media right now. It's
Yeah,
just it's a slog. It
yeah.
is. You got to have a lot of dedication.
Yeah, and I like to like because like I met you like I from
Yeah.
Wyoming, so I met you in a
Wyoming
Wy
PopCon,
yep,
yeah.
which was held at Casper at the time,
Yeah.
which unfortunately I don't live close by anymore, so I had to miss
Oh,
the last one. But like the it's honestly really cool to like because like as a reader and as a fan, which I know you're part of, like you don't often be able to get to be in such a level with the creators and like you don't get to talk to them or you don't get to like socialize with them. And I
right.
think that you have done a really cool job of doing that because like like it feels cool because not only are you participating and as a reader you're reading something that's not like a quote unquote mainstream comic line, but also to be like, hey, like I'm friends with the guy who created this. Like that's like a whole nother level of like
Right.
awesomeness. So like it's really cool to like see you at these conventions and to talk to you and to like do things like this. Like I'm never going to be in that industry. Like you dream of it. Like I like to write stories, but like I don't know how to do any of those kinds of things. So it's cool. It's cool to have to know people and to have these kind of correspondence with you because like it's just like it's an awesome thing that you're doing here. So
Oh, well, I appreciate that, and I will never not help anybody. You know what I mean? Like I
yeah.
said, Tyler James, R. Allen Brooks, he's been a big inspiration to me. He helps me with things I don't know. He talks
Mm,
me through things. If I have a question about publishing or timing of things or what I should do, should I do A or B? I can go to Harry about that on the publishing side of it. I have so many people I rely on to answer questions that I don't know, and I want to pass that on. You know what I mean? I will
sure.
never. I remember how many people helped me step up, so I will always help people step up. And there's another big thing I've always lived by is you pass the same people on the way up, you'll pass them on the way down. So
Yeah.
don't be too prideful. Don't be get that big ego because that's just going to hurt you more than help you.
So with that, how do you feel like you've able to do that? Because there's a lot of people out there who are very shy and very timid and very like
Yeah.
they want to do something, they don't know where to look or they don't know how to ask or they're not able to like. So what do you think it was that made you like be able to just be so open and like to talk to these people and to make those connections to help you?
Yeah, so probably just through my regular daily work life. I was
Mhm.
a very shy kid growing up. Most of us comic book readers were introverts. We're not extroverts. We're not going out of our way to talk to people, that kind of thing.
Right.
But I started when I started working for that satellite company with Ryan. I worked my way up. I started in a warehouse, became a field tech two, became a field service manager. Well, as a field service manager, we had to go on site, do job site safety surveys. We had to talk to the customer there, let them know why there's another, satellite van there. Hey, I'm here just doing a site survey, for safety reasons, make sure none of our guys get hurt. We also had to do damage claims. Say one of our guys, a flex bit jumped and they shot something through the sheetrock.
Mm,
So I had to go there when we damaged a customer's home. And that's a tough thing, man, because you're coming into this cold, never met the person, like, and you've done something wrong in their house, their home, where they live.
mhm.
So usually I learned, just to smile, be open, take responsibility, be nice, just be nice. So I really developed some really great soft skills with that, and it translated great to going to a Comic-Con and selling. I mean, the first one mistake, not a mistake. I'm glad I did it now, but one thing I kind of wish it had been flipped was the very first Comic Con I did was Albuquerque, and I didn't know how big it was,
Mhm.
but it is huge. I mean, it's not Denver Fan X big, but it is pretty dang big. I wish I'd done a smaller one, to
Yeah.
start off with. But they probably last year, I know they Saturday and Sunday they had to shut the doors. The fire marshal made them shut the doors because they reached capacity.
Huh.
And it's at the convention center. It's a big place. So there was a lot of people running through there, and I just leaned on that. Just be nice, smile at everybody, say hi, just be courteous, be friendly, man. And if they talk and they say hi back, then start talking to them. If they don't take that personally, man. They're like I grew up as an introvert, so I know some people just can't talk to strangers. They won't even look at you. Just don't take it personally. So.
Yeah. Sure. So kind of a segue, and I kind of want to talk about like, was there a point where this is an ongoing series, and
Mhm.
you're still currently doing, but is there was there like a point where you felt like maybe this isn't gonna take off like you had hoped it for?
Oh yeah, like I
Yeah.
said, when we were relying on those first couple Kickstarters for friends and family, I was like, man, I don't know where we're going to go with this. Is this nobody going to like it? And like I said, we pitched to those big publishers and nobody was interested. But sec going back to what I said earlier, a lot of people, they submit to these publishers, they don't hear back. Well, we heard back from Image and Dark Horse.
Mm,
Image was like, hey, we like the concept, sounds good. It's just too long. Nobody's really picking up 6 to 8 year series now. Dark Horse was like, hey, we like what it sounds like, but it's not right for our catalog. So we're at least getting responses. A lot of these people you hear on Facebook groups and Reddit groups are like, yeah, we sent it off and never heard back. So we knew we could put together a pitch good enough so we at least get response and we get people reading it. A lot of people I don't want to say don't have the business savvy. I don't know how I'd put this, but you know, they weren't doing something correctly, so they weren't hearing back at least. We could at least do that. So we knew that if we do that, then we could start pitching to publishers. We could start pitching to agents. And the flip of that was, you know, we were getting a little discouraged because we couldn't sign, and then but we knew we could put together a good pitch package. And then we signed with Marcosia through that. We just didn't give up. You know, we were all kinds of stubborn. So we just kept pitching. And I think Harry was only like, I know we hadn't quite reached that number 20 pitch, and Harry signed us. So yeah, I would tell anybody just don't give up, but don't keep sending out the same thing over and over. Sharpen your pitches, sharpen what you're doing. If it doesn't seem to be working, rework it. So
So, what habits do you think you've created that have helped you be a creator? Like, what habits did you, if that makes sense? Like,
yeah, no.
yeah.
I've always been a big student of human behavior,
Mm,
right? Uh, when I'm in Walmart, when I'm in Target, when I'm picking up a pizza with Eli, my 12-year-old, I am watching people. I'm seeing what they do. I'm seeing how they act. I'm seeing kind of taking in their mood, their attitude, you know what I mean? Just studying different people and seeing how they're interacting with people, that kind of thing.
mm,
So be a student of human behavior. As a writer, you'll need that. More than anything else, you'll need that. If you're not around people, if you're not studying people, you're only going to write what you know, and you only know yourself that well.
mm.
So you've got to interact, you've got to know people. There's very few hermits out there who are going to be, you know, writing deep, rich characters and that coming across on the page. Um, and as a writer, write every day and read every day. That's
Mm.
another big thing. It doesn't have to be a lot. You don't have to write, you know, 100 pages every day. You don't have to read 300 pages every day. If you don't have the time, I mean, my job, some days I'll work 12-hour days, some days I'll work 8-hour days. On those 12-hour days, I come home, I'll read a page. I might read a comic book, but I will sit down, and there's been days where my mind's blank. I'm fried from that day's work. I will sit down and I will start writing. I don't know what to write. I am blanking right now. And before you know it, I'm kind of thinking, I'm at least outlining something. I'm thinking of, oh, this would be a good line for this character to say, and I'll put that in my little notepad. That way I have it to write later. It might not be consecutive and in the story that I'm writing, but it's something I can use later. So read and
Interesting.
write every day and study people.
How do
Don't
you
be a
define,
stalker,
yeah,
but study people.
how would you define this success for you? Like, what would you consider that to be?
Dude, I think I'm successful now because I mean, it might not be the level of success. I mean, how do I put this?
Mm.
I think we all have dreams, right?
Yes.
We all ha- and below that we all have hopes, right? And maybe even a step below that we have goals. My goal was to be able to start this comic and keep it going, which we're achieving that goal. You know, 16 issues is no small feat, you know,
Mhm.
in about it's probably been 18, 19 months. If you roll into it, the two Heartless Bastards issue, we've done 18 issues in the Immortalis verse in 20 months. That's pretty damn impressive. That's a goal we hit because we wanted to
Right.
do an issue a month, and we're pretty dang close to that. My hopes is to eventually expand and maybe even write for Marvel DC Image somewhere, you
That
know,
would be
as a
awesome.
for hire writer. Yeah, it would be, but
Yeah,
not there yet. But again, that's just a hope. I'm not going to hang
sure.
my hat on that. And also the hope was, like I said, and maybe I should just say, just writing for other people. And the fact that I'm converting the screenplay play for Hank Bird into a graphic novel, that's. I mean, I think I've achieved that hope. You know what I mean? I'm writing
Mm.
for other people, for a big name screenwriter who has made movies out there. He's got like a probably like I think he's got producer credits, director credits, about a dozen writing credits on made movies,
Mm.
theater release movies. Yeah, it's just I think yeah, I think I'm right there, you know. So
That's it's awesome to hear you have like these big dreams and stuff, but honestly
yeah,
being like realistic about it too. Because I think the realistic part, I think, and I know for me personally in the past, and being a big dreamer myself, like sometimes I dream big without having like an way to get there, and it's just like
Yeah,
an idea, right? But then you get kind of like depressed because you can't make it happen or whatever. But like that, having like, okay, this is what I want, but being happy with the success of where you are at the moment, which is like again a place where other people want to be. Like you're always like you're living someone else's dream. Like that's something like
that's
that.
right.
So yeah, that's always stuck out to me. Like doesn't matter what you're doing in life, like you have something that somebody else wants. So like
Yeah.
to be able
Yeah. There's
to
levels to everything in life, right?
yeah.
You are doing a podcast. It may not have the viewers that you want. It may not get the likes that you want. Depending on what platform, it may not get the views that you like. But there are, I would say, probably millions of people out there who are just talking about, I want to do a podcast. I'm going to start a podcast, and they never will
Yeah,
because
for sure.
they won't knuckle down. They won't start that grind, and you're doing it. So you're up there. You're on this level. I mean, there's bigger levels, of course, the million view stuff, but you are so far ahead of the people, the dreamers, basically, you know what I mean, who won't grind and do it. So yeah, you gotta take the wins, man. So,
Yeah.
but can I cuss on this podcast?
Yeah, I don't mind
Okay.
it. Yeah.
Okay. I always ask. So,
Yeah.
I was talking to an artist friend of mine who he was beating himself up. He's like, man, I've been an artist for so long and I just can't get anywhere. I was like, dude, the first thing you got to do is you got to quit shitting on yourself. You know what I mean? You're a good artist. I love your work. It's just, you got to look at it as you haven't been discovered yet. And he kind of took that to heart. And it wasn't like and I told him, 2026 is going to be your year, man. Just
Mm.
start that as your mantra. 2026 is going to be my year. 2026 is going to be my year. And it wasn't 2 or 3 weeks after that, Jim Rugg hired him to do a comic. So I'm like,
Mm.
see, just believe in yourself, man. That's so much a part of this. You just got to believe in yourself. So
Yeah, it's consistency and like how I tell other
yes,
people, it's the building of things. Like you might be doing
yes,
something, could be doing something that you don't feel like is really adding to much, but it does.
yeah,
Like
oh yeah.
it's the building upon things. So
Yeah,
um
Rome wasn't built overnight, man. You
yeah.
got to grind sometimes. So there's very it's so funny. We're in this like TikTok world where everybody wants they think everybody's instant success. And there are some that are like that. Just
Mhm.
they start a podcast or they start a comic and boom, they're an overnight sensation. But for 99.9% of us, it's not like that. We got to work at it. So,
Yeah. So being that our time is running up,
oh
um,
man, that was quick. It's
yeah,
always good
it
talking to you,
does
Ort.
it does be, and we would love to have you come back like anytime
Heck yeah.
you want to promote something or like you got something going on, like just reach out and we'll get something
Heck yeah.
going. Um, so as tradition with the show, 5 minutes or less, is there a shout out for a man that you admire, someone that you
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, of course. So I mentioned him earlier. R. Alan Brooks is like he's like my mentor, kind of like my silent mentor. We've road tripped and it's so funny. We road tripped to Mesa Comic Con. We've done some road trips to other places, for some smaller cons and stuff. And we never listened to the radio. We're always talking comics. I'm always seeking advice from him. You know what I mean? He actually just had his first movie made
Mm,
from one of his scripts, and it's going around. It's going to be at the Tokyo Film Festival. It was just had its Colorado premiere about 3 weeks ago. I was lucky enough to get invited to that. It's a phenomenal movie. Um, and I'm blanking on the title right now. I'm so sorry. But if you go to ralanwrites.com, that's his website. You can find it there. I think it's always most of the time. Don't quote me on that. I'm so sorry. I'm not.
mhm,
I wasn't ready for this, but um, just a phenomenal guy, and he's been doing this for a very long time and doing it successfully. And he's there's two things he told me that I take to heart, and I really just embraced it because he has the success. He's earned the success. He wasn't given anything. He's worked for it. And one is he has a no assholes policy. He's
mm,
like, if you meet somebody in the industry who's like that, not and it doesn't have to be to you, but you see him being like that to anybody, just cut him out of your life. It's going to be a drain on you. It's not good for you. It's not good for the business. It promotes bad stuff. Just cut him out of your life. You don't need that. So the no a-holes policy, I love that from him. And he's just a good dude. He will always lift people up. So our Alan
Awesome.
Brooks is like a great guy if you want to see how to do it and how to do it right.
Awesome. Before we go, do you have socials that you want to put out there, let people know how to find you, how to find your book, how to find anything else that you're doing?
Yeah, of course. So on Instagram, you can find it at Tam Immortalis or Here I Am dot rock you like a metaphor. Right. On Facebook, it's Tam Immortalis
Yep.
also.
Yep.
Um, MNLcomics.com. That's me and Ryan's website we keep. You can find our merch, our comics, all that stuff can be ordered through there.
Awesome.
Marcosia.com. That's MARKOSIA.com. That's our publisher's website. You can find all our comics on there. Yeah. So I
Cool.
think
And
that's
then,
about it. We don't do a lot of socials, which is
sure.
probably bad for us, but we're
Yeah.
writers, not
Yeah.
promoters.
Right. You let the other people do that, and you do what you do
I
best.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And I'll be sure to put all of those links in descriptions.
Thank you.
And also, we'll be promoting that on our own personal Facebook page,
Ah,
which is the Manshift Guide, as well as our YouTube and our Spotify and all the other stuff. So again, thank you for being on here.
thank you.
You are a real one, and I always enjoy the
Ah,
conversations we've had. So until next time, this is the Manshift Guide.